Hi YouTube. Today I am going to make a video about the LDRC. I just want to talk about this model a little bit, right? So I'm sure any one of you who is watching this video probably knows about this right now. It is not new. It has been out for quite some time now. The thing is, when the first model came out, the 86 came out, I wasn't really interested in it. It looks very toy grade. There was no paint on it. Colors were not good. The performance were not good. To me, it looks like a toy. It didn't interest me a lot, right? So, first model came out. The second model came out. The FC was a little bit more interesting. More and more people got into it, I think, but I think the bomb kind of exploded when the NSX came out just a couple, probably about a month or so ago, and then everybody is talking about this LDRC model right now. I know there's a version 2, version 3 maybe, the gyro has improved. They did some tweaks to the car, make it better, make it perform better, and so on. And it kind of got better. So it went on the internet like a bomb, and everyone is trying to snag one of these. The funny thing is, when I wanted to get this, probably about 3-4 weeks to a month ago, I wanted to get this before Chinese New Year. I wanted to get the NSX, especially. I didn't want the older models, I want the latest one. I could not get it for the life of me. Everywhere it's being sold out. All the online shops, I was looking around, just the red NSX was sold out. There's a silver option. I didn't want the silver option. I wanted the red option, and it was really hard to get. I was looking all over the place, couldn't find it. Week after week, I was just checking online, and then when one of the shops got it, I placed an order. I waited a month and the order didn't come out, right? The seller somehow got some issues. It was stuck for a month, and I checked with the seller, and the seller said, oh no, we couldn't get it out. I had to cancel my order, reorder again from AliExpress, and then it came out. So it took quite some time, about 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks to come. It was really annoying. It was so hard to get my hands on this. But I believe today, if you are looking for this, it should be easier to find now. I can see their stock has been replenished, and it's a lot more accessible right now. I'm just, airing out my frustration. It's like this in RC stuff, right? So once it gets popular, everyone wants it, and then you just can't get hold of it, right? Certain things you just kind of have to predict and follow the wave. I knew it was kind of going popular because, again, once the FC and the NSX came out, there was a lot of videos coming out on these LDRCs. Everyone is talking about it, the reviewers or YouTubers all talking about it. So everyone's talking about it, everyone is converting it to proper drifter, making tweaks to it. So I won't be talking about the drifting aspect of it too much, because there is a lot of videos around it already, but I just want to kind of share what I did here with the car. And when I got it, I think the slight issue that kind of bugged me was the lighting. So when you get this car, it comes with the tail lights, and all the LEDs are inside. So all the LEDs are pre-fitted and fully functional. When you turn it on, it has the lights. Let me just show you. Okay, so you can see the lights already turned on, right? So forward, brake, reverse, signals, right? So full signals and everything. it's all available on the back, whereas for the front, it doesn't have any lights aside from the headlamps. There's no signal lights, there's no fog lamps and everything, or even though the light buckets are in there, right? So everything is in there already, but there are no LEDs in there. So it's a little bit annoying because they went halfway and they didn't go all the way. So what I did is I went and wire up everything, add additional LEDs. So this is in a fog lamps. There is housings for 3mm LEDs for the fog lamps, and there's housings for 3mm LEDs for the signal lamps as well. And they look great, right? They look very pretty. As you can see in the intro video, it looks very nice. The second issue that you might face while you're trying to do this is the plastics, right? So the plastics is fairly thin, and when you fix the lights in them, there is going to be a lot of light bleed. So the light is going to shine through the red plastic, especially for the signal bits. So the signal bits, when it's being light up, it's going to bleed through the entire front nose here, and it doesn't look very good or very realistic. Even right now, you can see some light bleeding. See, you can see some light bleeding, and that is, yeah, that doesn't make it look good at all, right? In real life, when it's dark, when there's so much light bleeding, it doesn't look very good. It will also bleed into the wheel arches, because you're going to have to cut the wheel fenders for the drift to be better, right? You can see that the wheel arch is being removed, so light is going to bleed through that and it's not going to look very good. So there's a lot of work that I have to do to kind of thicken the inside. I'll open the shell and show you guys what I've done. But there's going to be a lot of work that you might want to invest in darkening, thickening prevent the light bleeding from happening here. And there is very little room to do that because of the light buckets. So the LEDs, you have to solder it in a way, you know, as well, where it takes as minimal room as possible, because the lights buckets, when it goes in, you know, it takes up the space inside as well. So that is, I think, the biggest part, right? The biggest part is to invest in preventing the light bleed, and then you have a very beautiful model. You can see that the signal lights are being done up as well. Again, you have to do a lot of work to prevent the light bleed from the inside. As you can see, I'll show you again on the inside. After doing that, it looks very nice. You can see the panel lines as well. I just did some panel lining on the car, and yeah, I think it just makes the car look a lot more realistic. Just highlights the molded details and, you know, showcase the quality of this model. It's so nice. Like, I really, you know, like looking at it. The only thing is, it would be way a lot better if we can have a Honda sticker. Actually, I found online that there's a place where I can buy the Honda stickers in an 18 scale, and then I could stick it on. I think that would be nice. So there should be a Honda sticker on the front and also on the back. That would be nice. Add some license plate details as well, would be very nice. So I just want to really detail up the car a little bit more, and yeah, since everyone is already talking about converting this car into a drift car, which I did as well, but I'm not going to share too much here. The only thing I did here really is to change the gyro. It's a DAS Micro version 5, and I wanted to keep everything as stock as possible. You can see the stock remotes, and I want it to drift as well as possible with as much stock parts as possible, or as little money invested to it as possible. Okay, so the other cool thing that I really want to showcase here is, I think, is the fog lights, right? So how do I control the fog lights? Basically, if I turn on the lights and then turn it off again, the fog lights would go off. And if I want to turn on the fog lights, I would pop the headlights up and then close it down again, and then the fog lamps will turn on. And I think this yellow fog lamp really looks so nice, right? It really reminds me of the 90s, where fog lamps are, you know, yellow in color. And I think this really looks so good, right? Drifting this around really looks very good. The only downside is there's no option to turn off the signal, so when you're drifting, you can actually see the signals going off. You kind of have to hold the light button and go into hazard mode and start drifting like this, which can be a bit annoying. It would be nice if there's an option to turn it off. Again, RC manufacturers should really start, you know, having options to turn off signal lights. But since I'm keeping this car stock anyway, right? So having the light signals would make sense, because it is a stock car and it's not a, you know, full out drifter. Okay, so let me open up the shell and let me share a little bit more on how the lights are being done. Okay, so very easy, only 2 screws holding the body together. If you have seen this car before, you would have known. And then the clip up front, and there you go, it separates, it kind of opens up. Okay, so the cool thing about this car is especially the version 2, it already has the light plugs installed, already ready, right? So if you open this, if you open your model, you should see that there is 2 extra plugs that is not in use, right? So 2 plugs in the chipset, in the board, that is not in use. So these 2 is actually the left and right signal for the front. So all you need to do is to solder, you know, 3mm LEDs and plug it into this ports, and you should have the additional right and left signal lights, which is this one right here. Okay, these 2. The other thing really is the fog lamps, right? So what I did was I got one of these Y cables, right? So you can see one of these Y cables here. So it basically takes one, it has one of these inputs. This is the same kind of head where you plug in your servos, and then it duplicates it into 2 outputs, right? So I got one of these Y cables, and then I bought one of these LED switch thingies. I'll link it down in the description where you can buy this. So I got one of these LED light switch, and I connect them via the Y cable to the servo connection, right? So to the servo connection here, this is the light servos. So this servo connects into here, and then with the Y cable I can control the servo and the light switch simultaneously, right? So that's how I do the on-off option with the light button. Okay, and then you can see here there's a lot of foil stickers. This is to prevent light bleed from the signal lights. I have to talk about the signal lights a little bit as well. So These are the signal lights are being lit up by very tiny LEDs. 1 second, let me go grab them. So I'm not sure if it's going to show up on camera, but it's really tiny. So this is super tiny. Look at that. Okay, so this is an orange micro LED, or they call it SMD. It's super tiny. So I got 2 of these soldered to each side of the car to replicate the signal lights. And if you were to just glue the LED to the signal lights, there's going to be a lot of light bleeding, right? The light is going to bleed through the entire plastic here, and it's going to look pretty bad, right? So what I did was, I got one of these foil stickers. I cut it into a small piece. I poke a hole through the sticker, right? So I make a hole through the sticker. Kind of like this. I make a hole through the sticker and I cut this and stick it where the signal light would be, right? And then I glue the signal light on the opening onto the hole, and then I put another sticker on top to just cover the signal light so that it doesn't bleed through the plastic. So by doing that, you have a very clean signal light. Let me show you again. So with that, you get a very clean look. You can see how clean that is. If not, you will have a lot of light bleeding through the plastic here and it will look very unrealistic. So doing this gives you a very clean light signal that I think looks amazing, right? So you can replicate this as well. Okay, so if I were to show you the front bits, the fog lamps, turn this off. So you can see the inside, you can see all the foil stickers, right, covering the light buckets. You can see here, these are all covered up in the foil stickers so that there's no light bleed. And you have to do a lot of this to prevent the light from bleeding through the plastic, and your model will look very beautiful, right? So this is the additional work that you have to do inside. I know it looks messy right now, but I hope you get my, the idea. You have to kind of guide these wires as well. You have to make sure that it doesn't go under the wheel well, because it's going to interfere with the turning and the drifting. It would help if you kind of tape some of this wire down as well, but right now mine is not interfering with anything, so it's fine. Okay, so this is how it looks like inside, and you can see that I have removed the front wheel wells, the fender wells inside, but the rear I have kept them. Okay, so yeah, I hope that helps you in your RC conversion as well, because I know that a lot of people wants to have the light function, and some of you just don't know how to wire it up. So I hope this helps. If you have any further questions, do let me know, and I will answer your questions as we go, right? So once you have everything wired and done, just make sure everything fits, goes in, and screw it back. Yeah, I'm going to keep this model as stock as possible because again, I'm not planning to spend a lot of money on this because it's at the end of the day still a toy. But like every one of you mentioned, right, the body of these toys are getting nicer and nicer, so I took the chance to grab one for myself and see how good they really are. So I have already changed the suspension for the front. As you can see, I'm not using the bar anymore. The back, I didn't do any changes at all. I'm still using the original, right? So the front is where it's the most crucial. I've also cut off the limiters so that we can have more steering angle, so that it helps it in the drifts. The setup is there's still a lot more tweaking. Anchorman and everything is a bit off right now. You can also notice that the wheels have a lot of A stands, like it's slanted a lot as well. So yeah, very nice model. I like it a lot. The last thing I want to do is buy the Honda badge so that I can stick on it, and yeah, keep it as it is. I would like to change different rims though. If they have different options in the future, it will be nice to see a different rim here. Just think that this rim is a bit too bland for my liking. But yeah, absolute fingerprint magnet, this guy. I've been wiping it down before I shoot it, and now it's again filled with my fingerprints already. But yeah, hope you like this. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.
Yeah.